What were you listening to growing up? What do you think was most responsible for the way you sound? Or was it even music? Was it?
Well, first it was the Beatles, and then it was punk rock. That's about it.
The Beatles were early and formative influence on Cobain. A video survives of him singing Hey Jude at the age of 2, and he remembers walking around the neighborhood singing Beatles songs while playing a toy bass drum. He wrote he was forever grateful to his Aunt Mary for giving him 3 Beatles albums, and he was heartbroken when he learned in 1976 that the band had split up years before. In high school, Kurt wrote 2,000 words essay on Give My Regards to Broad Street, after he spent much of the winter of 1984 to 1985 listening to the soundtrack. About a Girl was written after Kurt spent 3 hours listening to Meet the Beatles on repeat to get in the mood, and In Bloom video is a parody of the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Kurt Cobain's favorite Beatles song and album were Norwegian Wood and Rubber Soul.
I've always loved the Beatles and stuff like that too, you know. Especially the Beatles. A lot of the other like rip-off bands of the Beatles, like the Hollies and Herman's Hermits, don't really count. I've never gotten into that, but I like that old 60s pop kind of sound.
Dave Grohl has explained how the Beatles in My Life holds a special place in his heart after it was played at Kurt Cobain's funeral service. It means a lot to me, because it was the song that was played at Kurt Cobain's memorial. That day, after everyone had said their piece, this next song came over the speakers, and everyone got to celebrate Kurt's love of the Beatles one last time together. Still to this day, when I hear it, it touches a place in me that no other song ever will. It's called In My Life, and knowing how much of a fan Kurt was of the Beatles and how much of an influence they were to everything we've ever done, I'd like to play this one for him, Grohl explained. Kurt once said back in 1989, "I don't value music much. I like the Beatles, but I hate Paul McCartney. I like Led Zeppelin, but I hate Robert Plant. I like The Who, but I hate Roger Daltrey. John Lennon was definitely my favorite Beatle, hands down. I don't know who wrote what parts of what Beatles songs, but Paul McCartney embarrasses me. Lennon was obviously disturbed, so I could relate to that, and from the books I've read, and I'm so skeptical of anything I read, especially in rock books, I just felt really sorry for him to be locked up in that apartment. Although he was totally in love with Yoko and his child, his life was a prison. John Lennon has been my idol all my life, but he's dead wrong about revolution. Find a representative of gluttony or oppression and blow the motherfucker's head off." Kurt Cobain's cover of the Beatles' And I Love Her was released in 2015, soon after the documentary Montage of Hack. The director of the film, Brett Morgan, reveals that nobody in Kurt's life, not his management, wife, bandmates, had ever heard his Beatles thing. The director told Rolling Stone, "I found it on a random tape. It's a Paul song. How's that for shattering the myth?" The recording was perhaps a guilty pleasure of his, as Cobain once said that he liked the Beatles, but hated Paul.
Hello.
That was Ringo, folks.
Well, what can I say?
And goodbye
You
from
know.
all of us.
Well, this is Ringo. Everyone seems to have said everything here, so I'll just sign off by saying cheerio and best of luck from the Beatles.